He has not left the couch in 3 hours. The television is on, but he stopped watching it somewhere around the second hour. His phone is in his hand. He is reading comments under a news article about something that will not affect his life in any measurable way. He knows this. He reads another comment, then another. His coffee went cold 40 minutes ago. He will not make a new one because making a new one requires standing up, and standing up feels like it costs something he does not have right now. He is not sad exactly. He is not tired exactly. He is somewhere below both of those words, in a place that does not have a clean name, and every minute he stays there makes the next minute heavier. 8 weeks ago he was fine. Not great, fine. He had a rough day at work, the kind where nothing goes specifically wrong but everything feels slightly harder than it should. He came home and sat down to relax for 20 minutes. He opened his phone. He read something that irritated him. He read something else that made the irritation worse. He did not go for the walk he had planned. He told himself he would go tomorrow. Tomorrow he felt a little more tired than usual, because he had not slept well, because he had stayed on his phone until 1 in the morning, reading things that made him feel like the world was getting worse. He skipped the walk again. He skipped it the day after that too. This is the doom loop. It is a cycle where feeling bad leads to doing things that make you feel worse, which makes you feel worse, which makes you do more of those things. Each step is small. Each step makes sense in the moment, and each step makes the next step more likely to happen. The machine works like this. Something makes you feel low, not destroyed, just low. A bad meeting, a fight with someone you care about, a week where nothing went right. The low feeling changes what you want to do. You skip the gym, you cancel plans, you stay in. Staying in means you do not get the things that usually make you feel okay, like movement, or sunlight, or talking to someone who makes you laugh. Without those things, you feel a little lower the next day. A little lower means you skip a little more. Skipping a little more means even fewer good inputs. Fewer good inputs means lower still. The cycle does not need a catastrophe to start. It needs a Tuesday. The part you cannot see from inside is the filter. When you are 3 weeks into this loop, your attention changes, not dramatically, quietly. You start noticing things that confirm how you already feel. A friend does not text back for 6 hours, and it means something it would not have meant 2 months ago. A project at work gets mild criticism, and it lands like a verdict. You scroll past 10 neutral things and stop on the one negative one. You are not choosing to focus on the bad. Your brain is doing it automatically, the same way your eyes adjust to a dark room. The room did not get darker. Your eyes changed, but from inside it does not feel like your filter shifted. It feels like the world actually got worse. That is the gear that keeps the whole machine turning. You believe the evidence. The evidence is real. You really did see those 10 negative things today. What you did not notice is the 40 neutral and positive things you scrolled past without registering, because your brain had already decided what kind of day this was. Susan Nolen-Hoeksema spent 2 decades studying what she called rumination, the habit of replaying negative thoughts in a loop. In one study at Stanford, she tracked people after the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. The ones who ruminated, who replayed the event, and their feelings about the event over and over, showed higher levels of depression 7 weeks later. That was expected. What was less expected was that rumination predicted depression even when she controlled for how much actual damage the person had suffered. 2 people could lose the same amount, experience the same disruption, and the one who replayed it in their head would be measurably worse off weeks later. The loop was not a reaction to the damage. The loop was its own damage. She found the same pattern in studies on job loss, relationship breakups, and chronic stress. The event starts the feeling, but the feeling does not just sit there. It generates behavior. The behavior generates more feeling. The feeling generates more behavior. The event becomes almost irrelevant after the first few rotations. The loop runs on its own fuel. Early in the cycle, the gaps are wide. You have a bad week, then a decent weekend, then another bad week. There is space between the drops. You recover partially. You think you are fine. You think last week was just a rough patch, but each recovery is a little shorter than the one before. The decent weekend becomes a decent Saturday, then a decent Saturday morning, Then a few hours on Saturday where you feel almost normal before the weight comes back. The cycle does not announce that it is speeding up. It does not send a warning. One day you realize you cannot remember the last time you felt light, and you cannot point to the moment it changed, because it never changed in a single moment. It changed in 100 moments, each one too small to see. You have a version of this running right now, maybe not the full thing, maybe just the opening bars. You meant to call someone this week, and you did not do it, and now you feel guilty about not doing it, and the guilt is making it harder to call, not easier. You have a task you have been avoiding for so long that the task itself has become less stressful than the feeling of having avoided it. You stayed up too late last night doing something that was not restful and was not fun and was not necessary, and today you are more tired, and tonight you will probably do the same thing because tired people do not make better choices, they make easier ones. You know the walk would help, you know the phone call would help, you know going to bed on time would help. Knowing is not the problem. The loop does not care what you know, it cares what you do. And what you do when you are inside it is almost always the thing that keeps it going, because that thing is easy, and everything else feels hard, and hard is the last thing you can afford when you are already running on empty. The deepest trick of the doom loop is what happens when you notice it. You recognize the pattern, you see the cycle, you feel bad about being in the cycle. That feeling, the frustration, the self-criticism, the sense that you should be stronger than this, feeds directly back into the machine. Awareness becomes another input. You are not just stuck in the loop now. You are stuck in the loop and you are disappointed in yourself for being stuck in the loop. And the disappointment makes you feel worse, which makes you less likely to do the thing that would help, which makes the loop tighter. The system has a defense mechanism built into its own walls. Even the act of seeing the trap can become part of the trap. Somewhere tonight, someone will open an app they already know will not make them feel better, and they will close it, and they will open it again within 90 seconds, and they will not know why. The loop knows why.